Hey guys, I'm making this video today to talk to you all about Connect 101 and what our summer PD is going to look like in terms of what the district has provided for us and how we're going to work through that together. I also want to say that I miss you a whole lot and I very much appreciate the support that you've given me. I'm thinking about each of you. This world has a lot going on. And you all have a lot going on personally. And so just know that I'm thinking about you, and I've really enjoyed seeing those of you that I could see in the last few weeks. And I believe that's it for that part of the message. Let's move on to Connect 101. I think that worked. Okay, so what am I talking about here? So first of all, KCS has created a support to help us through these uncertain times because we are all not sure what's going to happen. We're not sure what school's going to look like, what life's going to look like. I'm very hopeful, but we really don't know, and it's okay to be nervous about it. And I guarantee that you have every person in the public asking you what you think of how school's going to start in the fall as well. And the answer is basically we don't know, and we don't have to make that decision. So that's great. But no matter what, school will start in some way or another. And we need to be prepared for for however it's going to start. And Knox County Schools really got together and figured out, okay, so how can we prepare people? Because no matter what, we're going to have some kids coming to us with trauma and social emotional needs. And that's always been the case. But with everything that's been going on the last few months, it's going to be more so the case. So we need to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of trauma and understanding trauma, and also just some social emotional learning stuff. And the other huge thing is that we're going to be one-to-one as a district, no matter how school starts. We'll be one-to-one. If you have looked at the survey, I hope you've taken it, even though it kind of looks like it's just meant for families. It does say colleagues on there. I took it, and I don't necessarily have a child in Knox County Schools, but if you look at the survey, there's really three options for what school's going to look like. The epitome, the wonderful option would be we just come back to school, right? There may be some things that look different, and that you can give some feedback on that in the survey, but we would just all be there together. But even if we do that, we will still have one-to-one devices. And so we need to know how to best utilize those one-to-one devices in our classroom, even if we just all come back and the kids are there on August 10th. The second option, the other extreme, is that we'll be full-time online, and so the kids would have their devices and you would be teaching in that way. I really, really hope that's not what happens, but we still need to have at least a good base level understanding. And then the middle option is, I believe it's something to the effect of where half the kids would come one day and then they would be on their devices that second day while the other half of the kids, which would allow for some social distancing and not quite as many people in the building. No matter how you feel about those options, no matter what happens, we need to know about those. So we need to know about, the Chromebooks and how we're going to be able to utilize those. It may feel like a heavy lift, but we're all learning this together and we're working through this together. And so today, this is just about how can we start that process. So what on earth am I talking about? I'm talking about the self-paced Canvas course called Connect 101. You should be enrolled. Gwen went through and made sure everybody was added on that list. And then today, I published the course itself. So you should be able to see the course when you go into your Canvas, and I'll show you that here in a minute. It is a required course for all staff, teaching assistants, for all office staff it's not required for you, but for teaching assistants and other certified staff it is required. Teaching assistants, you're only going to do modules 1 through 3. That'll make sense here in a few minutes. Everyone else is going to do all the modules that are open to you. It may sound like this is going to be a lot, but when we really think about it, it's equal to or less than the time we usually spend in summer PD. So almost every summer, or every summer in some capacity, most of you all have gone to standards training or PBIS training or new curriculum training or the 10,000 other trainings that you sign up for, right? And I know some of you are doing some online stuff already, but this is the only required thing, and in the long run, it will be less time, generally less time than what you would spend in a normal summer doing PD. So when we go through it, just think about it like that. It's not really, while it may seem a little overwhelming at first, in the long run, it's really a lot less time than what you would think. Okay, so let me click on, let me float myself over here a little bit. Okay, so we have created a schedule. I worked with another principal to get a lot of this together, so I'm saying we a lot. We've created a schedule. You can do this course via video with your teams if you want to, or you can get together and socially distance yourselves, whatever. You could do it alone. You could do it with one partner that you want to. I'm working through it with a partner, and it's really helpful to stop and be like, let me pause and think through that. So I would encourage you to do that, but I know it's also maybe not possible. So whatever fits best for your schedule, whatever works for you, you're welcome to do it however you want to. So first of all, let me show you in the Drive. So when I go in, not in the Drive, sorry, in Canvas. When I go into Canvas, this is what my dashboard looks like. You may or may not have all of these things. This is the one that you're looking for, KCS Connect Amherst, right there. And you'll click into that, and yours is going to look different from mine because I'm a teacher, but there's all sorts of stuff in there. Yours will probably look a lot like this. These are the modules that we're talking about. Don't worry about right here where it says 7. Okay, but also in our Drive, if you go into Amherst staff, if you're not a part of Amherst staff, you should be, but if you're not, let me know and we'll get you on there. You'll go into 2021. It's time. And the only thing in there right now is the Summer Connect 101. When you click in there, you'll be able to see the PowerPoint that I'm going through, and you'll also be able to see the schedule that we're about to talk about now. So here is, I'll just be bigger if I do that, the suggested schedule. Now, this is suggested pacing. You can do modules 1 through, let me move me up here. You can do modules, these first 1, 2, 3, 4 modules all in one day if you want to. But we're just to help you out and kind of do not quite so much at once. This is just suggested pacing. But these are your modules over here. Overview, classroom culture, student ownership. You can see that there. Again, classified staff, you're only looking at these 3 right here. The overview, I did it. I think it's only going to take you about a half an hour, but it might be, they've said about an hour. Here's some guiding questions to think about. You don't have to do anything necessarily with them, but it helps to read those before you get started, and the purpose of each module. Now, in the second module, it's really important. You've heard earlier in the summer about a trauma-informed Canvas course. So it is also embedded in the classroom culture module of Connect 101. And you are required to watch that. So here's what I mean. When you go into module 2 for classroom culture, one of the first things you'll see is a link to the initial trauma-informed video. If you already watched that because you're a go-getter and you already got it done, don't worry about it. But if you haven't, you are required, and that is included in this 2 hours and 25 minutes. That's why this module is so long, is because I've just included both of those things when we're talking about credit. Student ownership is going to be our focus for the school. It has been. It's going to continue to be, especially with the great work we're doing with NIET. That's why I want everybody to do that module, and just think about it from whatever role you're in. And then we get into more of the specific digital learning tools and content-specific things. I'm going to be working through these things. If I wanted, once I especially get to the content-specific, I'll probably have some more updates for you. Won't be quite this long, but over here you'll see synchronous check-in with teams. So what we've got is after you've done modules 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have a synchronous check-in time. Right now, we've made that school-wide. Once I get a little bit more into it, I may decide to make that teams, but at this exact moment, it's going to be July 7th from 10:30 to 11:30, probably through Microsoft Teams. We'll figure that out later. And it's just if you can. If you can't come, it's okay. You will get the credit for it if you do. And then and then at that point on July 7th, digital learning tools and content specific thinking will be unlocked. You won't be able to do it before then. And we'll meet again for a synchronous check-in on July 21st from 10:30 to 11:30. Now, down here, these green parts are not really part of Connect 101. I think that once you get into this, you're going to recognize how important it is that you learn more about Canvas. So there's another course that you have been given information about earlier, and it is on your Canvas, called Growing with Canvas, Reimagine Learning Growing with Canvas. And that's optional. You don't have to do that, but I think you're going to find that you will want to do that. And also, you don't necessarily have to do every module in that. So if you've been using Canvas for a little while, you may not need the first 2 modules. But that's just to add there that you may want to do that. I would probably wait till afterwards if you haven't already, or whatever. You can do it whenever, actually. And then we're going to wait until we finish this course until the July 17th to do a needs assessment to see where we are so that we can plan further PD. That's just going to be like a Google form or something, or maybe on Canvas. So that is the suggested pacing in the schedule. Again, you can find that in our drive. Now, my learning plan. So for certified staff, you'll get 8.5 hours for the Canvas modules. You'll get 1 hour for each synchronous check-in that you are able to attend. For teaching assistants, you'll get 5.5 hours for modules 1 through 3 in Canvas, and you may attend the July 7th synchronous check-in if you're interested, and you would get 1 more hour for that if you chose to do that. We will get those courses in my learning plan, and we'll just give you credit. You're not going to need to go in and sign up. We'll give you credit once you've completed it, and we'll be able to see that through the Canvas page. So I believe that's it, actually, for Connect 101. I know that's a lot of information. I'll try to reiterate some of that in the email as well. So I miss you guys. See you later.